there, happy Thursday. Welcome to Craft Night with Friends. Thanks for joining me here. My name is Alyssa Thomas from Penguin and Fish, where we make cute embroidery kits for crafters. And I am working on the Aurifil Block of the Month quilt. We almost have a quilt top here. It's a pile of mess on my table right now. We have one more seam to stitch, and then we'll have a quilt top that is done. We need to iron it yet, so we'll do that yet tonight. But I'm hoping to have like a nice, clean, lovely quilt top by the end of the night. I think it'll be lap size or so. I'll take a photo of it tomorrow to show you guys the whole thing of it. But I am excited. This has been a project we started last year in January, so it'll be nice to have the top done. We still have to do the back and quilt it, but this is will be a big step in the process. So thanks again, guys, for joining me. All right, here is everything. Okay, so what do we got going on here? We were able to sew the top and bottom parts together yesterday, and now we just have the two large pieces to sew. So this is rows 5 through 9. I still have my labels on here. I'll take them off when we're done sewing this seam, but the less thinking I have to do, the better. But I think it's turning out so bright and playful and just like a silly, fun, colorful quilt going on here with actually a lot of detail when you start digging into it closer. So from far away, it's just a bright, lovely quilt. At closer inspection, there is an extreme amount of stuff happening in here. So, all right, so here's the bottom half, and then we have the top half here. Oh, here I always put my clips on the left side, so I know that that's the left side. All right, and here is some of that quilt top, the top part of the quilt, top section of the quilt, I should say. All right, so what we're gonna do tonight is what we've been doing the past few nights, and that's just lining up the seams with the seams of the piece below. So we can make this seam look like it's one continuous line versus like stair-stepping a little bit. So to do that, we're gonna clip at each one of those seams, plus we'll clip in the middle of the big blocks because they're kind of floppy. So I'm gonna plop this bottom half over the top of the top half so we can get the right sides together, and we just gotta clip this seam down the side. We are getting there. Oh, Lynn's saying quite the opposite from our blonde quilt, which is the Splendid Sampler 2 quilt that we're working on. Both are very different and both lovely. Oh, that's sweet, Lynn. So this is kind of, that kind of brings up the whole, one of my parameters. I always like having a couple of rules I set for myself in a project. But one of my rules with the Splendid Sampler 2 quilt, which is my blonde quilt, it's all whites and very pale yellows and pale tans, is that all my quilts end up being like these bright, like rich, kind of juicy, citrusy colors like this one. So that quilt, the Splendid Sampler 2, was a challenge on, can I just do a white light color quilt? I've seen them before and they're always so striking. And I'm like, I don't know if my brain can handle that. So I set rules for myself with that project to give it a try. So that's the experiment I'm running on that project. We're sneaking in some bright colors here and there with it. But yeah, totally different than this. Except for the fact that we, in a sense, it's very much like this. Not in color, but in the sense of it's a mashup of blocks designed by a pile of different designers. So every single block is like its own little mini art piece, really. So that's very, very similar to this, where we're just having all these little art blocks and then we're framing them with sashing just a completely different color scheme, that's for sure. Oh, Patty, that's so sweet. Patty says the Splendid Sampler 2 is my favorite of all quilts I have seen. Yeah, that's been a fun quilt, and I love seeing how everyone else is looking too. It still amazes me. My mom got hers done like 2 years ago. I think we've been working on that for like, oh my god, we've probably been working on that for like 3 years at this point. Ugh, can't possibly be that long, can it? It might be. Oh, and we're still just a hair over halfway over, or done with that one. But when we're done with that one, the quilting and everything else will be done as well, because we're doing quilt as you go, which was another new experiment for me with that quilt. I had never done quilt as you go before, which is a method of sewing in smaller groups and then quilting those smaller groups and assembling those smaller, completely finished quilted groups. Kind of a neat trick for sure. All right, we're getting there. A couple more clips. It's wanting to fall off the table, is wanting to pull in all sorts of directions. That's going to be the challenge. And that's the challenge when it gets bigger. It doesn't take up, it takes up all the space, and it wants to move around on you, and the bottom part wants to push out when you sew, and I don't know. I like sewing the little blocks together the best, I think. Although, you know you're almost done when you get this far. Okay, we're ready. Let's just double check. I should have double checked before, but now I'm paranoid. All right, so 3, 4, okay, 5, 6. Okay, good. Just in case I clipped it upside down or something. All right, let's get to the machine. I'm gonna grab my glove, just because it's got like some grip at the bottom, and that'll just help push this fabric through. And I'm not really pushing, you know, the machine does that, but all this bulk that's on the side here, that's not going to want to move on its own. So the glove just helps me with that versus my hand, which is, you know, can get slippery on its own. All right, stiletto in hand. Ooh, did you guys see, did you all see Jenna's stiletto that she posted? I got to see the beads in person, and she showed me it this morning over Zoom, but she finished her little stiletto like this, but she used her own beads. She used to work at a bead, I mean, she was in the beading industry for like a zillion years. So she's got piles of beads, which is just, sounds amazing. But she shared her stiletto that she made, and I swear I love it so much. I feel like it's almost as if she walked the beach. I mean, this is meant to be as a compliment. I don't know if anyone would take this as a compliment, but like it's almost like she walked the beach and found the most beautiful shards of pottery and sea glass, and just put them all together into the stiletto. I just think it looks amazing. All right. But I've been using my stiletto a lot to help guide some of these seams through here, so I definitely like having it nearby. Oh, Gretchen has a new machine. I'm so happy you like it. It's a fun little prize. Have a nice machine that you like. Ooh, speaking of machines, I got to see a little bit of my mom's granny square quilt. She brought it to a long arm quilter for the first time. First time using a long arm quilter, like someone doing that service. And the quilter just posted a picture of it on her Facebook page, and then Mom shared it with me. So it sounds like it's currently on the frame, the quilt frame for the long arm quilting, and they're doing like kind of a gentle, large, medium size meander over the whole thing, and it just looks classic and simple and friendly and nice, and I just think it fits the quilt really well, so I'm excited about that. So I can't wait till it's totally done and Mom has it back. But it's looking very sweet. Scooch this up a little bit more. So we'll press this next, because we'll be done. Ooh, yeah, this is my last little bit. There's the end. So we're going to press it. That'll take a little bit of time. But if we get done with that tonight, I want to kind of maybe address what we might do with the back. Like I have my basket of fabric. I kind of keep my projects together, so I have the rest of this project kind of contained. So maybe we can kind of think about that. But I would love to switch my needle and clean this machine up a little bit. So maybe if there's a lot of time left, we'll try to freshen up this machine and get it all ready to go for next week and whatever we do tomorrow. Man, it'd actually be nice to like maybe get started on the back of this quilt too. Kind of decide what we're doing and just start trying to crank that out. I'm gonna get all these quilts done this year. I would just love to just magically they all get finished. That'd be awesome. They're all the quilts I'm working on right now are kind of at that stage where we could possibly finish them all. So that'd be cool. Which means we'll be doing a whole lot of quilting come summer and fall. That's fine, I'm okay with that. And sewing. We'll still have the Splendid Sampler too, where there's going to be a lot of sewing yet to do. All right, we have ourselves a quilt top. There, that was our last seam here. A little stair-steppy, but not too bad. That kind of happens when you have tons of different fabric. Ooh, I got these guys on a pile of these edges. Let's clip those. Another one here. I just forgot to do that earlier. Oh, do I have another one? Nope, I think we're good. Fun! Okay, so I will definitely hold this up when we're done here again. And actually, I think I'm going to zoom you guys up a hair so you guys can see it a little bit better. And I will press it here as well. Okay, so let's get, I have my, speaking of the embroidery of the month, I have that sitting on the edge here. This is the last week for the embroidery of the month, the butterfly, so make sure to snag that if you haven't already. I'm just going to scooch some other things out of my way. Okay, let's check this out. Can't quite spread it out, but we can get a sense of it still. Ooh, fun. Lots of fun, bright colors in this. There's my black. I love that green right next to it. That's pretty. This one I really like too. And there we go. So bright and fun. It is crazy silly, but I think the concept worked out. The concept of like just have it be a bright, fun quilt, you know, from far away, and it's not until you really get close and into it, like if you're using it as a blanket, that you can really start seeing all the fancy stuff that's going on with each block. And, you know, not to mention we did all these little cornerstones too all of these kind of basic quilt blocks, which we should label too. We need to label all of this, so we're gonna have to do a whole sit down one of these times. And I want to label every single one of these blocks. Like this is an hourglass block. I want to label hourglass block. I also want to label that this was whatever city and the color scheme or something, just to say what those were. And I think I'll be using like one of these little micron pens. So these are archival, which means it's not going to damage. It's not going to damage the fabric, and it's not going to be affected too much by sunlight. And they're permanent. So I mean, they'll come out in time, but in time means like 100 years, and that might still not be the case. So I'm actually going to write. I think it's just like a black, like permanent marker that has a really thin line. I think I'm going to just write that on all of these, but I don't think I'm going to do that till later. Maybe once it's quilted. Unless I should do that before. Maybe I'll do that before the quilting. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. But all right, I'm going to get the iron up and running here, and let's go ahead and quilt this. But now we can actually take off all of the little labels. So let's do that. And all of these blue little clips are my mom's clips, so I'll have to put them. We have a little box at our kind of near our door of all the things that we are intending to bring to either my parents' house or John's parents' house. So I'll I'll get a little baggie or a little something, and I'll put all these in, and then I know that they won't be combined with mine. I'll be returning it like a nice person who borrows things and returns things. The blue, and I got my mom has just a whole mixture of colors. But I didn't have any blue in mine, so I on purpose took her blue ones, and then I would know for sure that they weren't mine. Okay, don't need those numbers anymore. I'm going to shush these to the side. Okay, let's flip this around and press. I'm trying to think of the best way to do that. If I start in the top and push up, or if I start at the bottom and let it dangle. I think I'm going to start at the bottom and push up. Ugh, this is gonna be a whole ordeal. This is like my least favorite stuff to do right now, all this pressing. So let's give it a go. I just have my little mat here. Let's see what the best direction would be. Oh my god, this is gonna take an eternity. But we're gonna do it. All right, so I just want to, I wonder if I should press from the front. I might just press from the front. So I can get like a little, like I can put it kind of upright like this, so I know that all the seams are going in one direction, and then I can fold it over and press. So why don't we just press all of the seams upward? It doesn't really matter. So yeah, so I'll just go row by row and kind of flip it back and then flip it upward. Not the funnest thing, but we're gonna do it. And we'll be getting the whole quilt nice and flat in the process. I'll probably, before I quilt this, before I sandwich it to the other quilt, we'll, I'm sure, press it again. But this will get the whole bit started. So we're just gonna have to go row by row. 9 rows doing this, I think. And now I'm thinking this will take the rest of the time for sure. In theory, we could press open, but that would be a lot more extra steps. Just trying to press it from the front, because then I can get into all these seams. Make sure they're flat. Ugh, it's pulling everywhere already. It's looking nice though, ironing it, which usually is the case. I like that little Aurifil guy there. Alright, press that up. Oops. Ugh, my stupid mat's sliding around. That's not helping me. My mom has a huge table. It's actually like an old farm table that she got at an antique place, I think. So like a giant table that someone did like woodworking on the farm back in the day. And it's gorgeous, and she has a huge slab of wood that has one of those ironing mat covers on. That's what she does her big quilt ironing on. Not an itty little bitty mat like this, but we're gonna get there. That's the thing. The tools let you get it done faster and easier, which is nice, but you don't need all that. We're getting it done just fine here. I actually kind of want to press this as I go, so I might actually get one more level of pressing in here. I suppose, well, yeah. Maybe I'll scooch up a hair. Then I can get this major seam down here. Oops. Whoa, sorry about that. Oh, this is going to be a trick. I think what we're going to do, I'm going to rotate my mat so I have a little bit bigger of a pressing surface. Maybe we get this seam a little bit first. This block has a lot going on with it, so it doesn't want to be pressed flat. There we go. Kind of thinking we should still just press outward, like how we were doing earlier with these. I don't know, maybe this is pressing them one way and then we'll press them open. Haven't decided yet. Linda, I'm not quite sure what you're saying. Would it be easier to iron? I don't know what that is for sure. Oh, towards the sashing. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm sort of thinking now. But that might actually be kind of difficult too. I could press from the back towards the sashing first and then just flip it over and do the top. I think maybe that's what I'll do. So I'm going to do this side over. So yeah, so this one was pressed towards the sashing. I think we'll do that here too. Obviously the little ones won't be, but the big ones will be, and that'll probably be helpful. So fine. I'm going to do this first from this side, which is way easier. And then I still want to hit it from the other side just so I can give everything a nice finish. But I think, here, let's switch this now. I think, yeah, they'll just want to stay in the right spot, I think, once we flip it over if we press this first. So, yep, I think we're think we're going to do that. Yep, already feels easier. Great suggestion. Thanks, Marie. Marie says, I have to give Alyssa credit for trying to press in this small space. Yeah, see, like, this just wants to go in that direction. It would have been tough to press it the opposite direction. Oh, I suppose I could do both at the same time. Yeah, I'm going to go backwards again. I can do, since this is such a little row, I can do the top and the bottom at the same time, so I can actually kind of stretch this out a little bit. Let's do this one and this one at the same time. Much better. Way, 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 way better. Okay, good, good, good. We're gonna get it. Try things and adjust. That's good. The whole name of the game, I suppose. There we are. Scooch on down. Getting to the end where I don't have that first row pressed. Ooh, yeah, this guy's not going to want to be pressed upward, but we're going to do it. Not really worried at this point if some of these other seams get pressed weird. I'm just trying to encourage them to go one way, and they're just going to go wherever they want to go, really. Once we like sandwich it and everything, they'll just go where they want. But for the time being, we can encourage them to go where we want them to go, and hopefully they'll kind of stay that way. We can at least get it nice and flat from the front by doing this first. All right, let's scooch up. Yeah, we're doing these two at once, and then we'll just get the whole front all nice when we're done. I only have to do this 2 more times after this one, so three more little passes, and then we'll get it from the front. Ooh, I can't wait to see this all laid out. Oh my gosh, yes, Marie. Marie says, thank goodness for the cordless iron. I love mine. It's a game changer for sure. Agreed, 100%. I mean, imagine doing this with a cord, like a massive non-bendy cord in your way the whole time. Ugh, no thank you. This is so much nicer with that cordless iron for sure, sure, sure. I never want to go back. It's like my favorite tool, I think. It's got to, like I keep saying, it's in my top 5 for sure. If I was on some trip or something, or some desert island where I was forced to make quilts all day, it would be one of the things I'd be whining about the most, probably. that I wouldn't have. There is my cordless iron. Hope I'm never in that scenario. Although, if I was on a desert island and my job to have the colony survive was to quilt all day, that can't possibly be too horrible. Although I've read, this is a great book that I totally recommend. It's called Women's Work, or Woman's Work, and it's kind of the history of the textile industry, like all the way back to like Mesopotamia, like way back, and there's a lot of history of, you know, being forced to do this stuff, like Egyptians who are just like in, like never like go outside because all they do is like make this flax and just like linens and stuff. There's a lot of very crazy history, way back history in textiles. So it's a really fascinating book. Again, it's called like Women's Work. I don't remember what the secondary line is, but something to do with, it's going to be like the history of textile industry basically. But I need to buy it. I borrowed it. Actually, I think my mom bought it. I'll have to borrow it from her again and read it. But I borrowed it from a friend who thought I'd like it, and it's awesome. I would definitely read it again. But yeah, so that's why I'm like, oh, the desert island, if I had to do quilting, that'd be awesome. But then I immediately thought of that book of the history of all these textiles, and I'm like, would it be awesome? I don't know. If I had to do that day in and day out, like 14 hours a day in like a dungeon, basically, that wouldn't be fun. So we have one more row when this one's done. So we're cruising. This is going way faster now that we've now that I've taken on all of your guys' smart ideas. Speeding up now too. Gotta get in the rhythm of it. Just by like kind of pulling on this a little bit, I'm hoping that I'm not getting like little folds here. I'm kind of trying to open those seams up to squish them down. Alright, last bit on this row. Ugh, it's annoying to keep this thing flat too when it just wants to bunch up everywhere. There we are. And last up, we got this guy here. Final little bottom bit. I do want to get the top though, so we'll go over the whole top again.
But yeah, we won't have to worry about the seams because we're doing them now though. So that's good. I like this little snowball block here. I'm definitely gonna have to label all these, like these blocks, these smaller blocks that we tried to look up, like what some of the most basic blocks are in quilt land, and just like learn their names, because they're names that I hear thrown out all the time. Like, here's your pinwheel block or something, you know what I mean? Or your broken dishes block or whatever. And you know, when everyone seems to know what that means, and I know that's not totally true, but you know, sometimes people just throw out those terms as if you're supposed to know. I mean, I do that with half square triangles and log cabin and stuff too, so it'd be good to just get them all figured out. All right. Done. Let's get the top. So I think maybe I'll work towards me this time. Then I don't have to move this around a lot. We'll flip it. Fun. Oh, it's so bright and pretty. I can't wait to take a photo. Then I can kind of see how big it is too. Last I thought it was going to be just kind of a lap size. I don't want to put another border on because this is kind of, the sashing is kind of the border. I don't need it bigger than lap size either, really, so. I mean, I don't even know what I need it for. I'm just making stuff. I have no uses for this other than have another quilt to lay, this is for when I'm laying on the couch. But you never know when you need another quilt to throw in, you know, in a bag or just have nearby, or another room or another chair needs a little quilt on, or whatever. They're still useful, even if you don't have a plan for them yet. Yeah, I'm glad I'm just going over the top of all this, though. I can check my seams if they're good, and I just get to do a nice last pass, getting everything nice and flat. It'll take a little time, but just as much time as the back, or a little faster maybe. It's looking good, though, doing this. Some of these fabrics we never ironed, period, so this is going to be the first time ironing it, like with the sashing and stuff. All right, scooching on down. Kind of feeling these seams, these ones here don't want to stay flipped that way, so if they feel like they've gone the other direction, I'm just kind of flipping them back. Oh, that's a good point. Colleen is saying be sure to cold water wash this one so that the fabric doesn't shrink weirdly. Yeah, I think I always do that, actually, now that I think of it. I don't think I've done anything but a cold wash for quilts. But it's a good extra reminder for this one in particular, for sure. I need to make sure it's on my mat underneath here too, so I don't like press the table. I think I gotta go in the middle before I get another row in. It'll be fine. This guy's got some folds in there yet. Looking awfully nice, all pressed. Went a little too far down. I'll just get this a little bit. Oops, sorry. Bumped you guys again. Purple, so pretty. Such a fun one too. All right, so what's the consensus? I don't think I'm gonna embroider the names on here because that's just gonna be, that's just a whole nother job, you know, like this one here. I think we'll just stick to using my little marker for that. But should I be doing that? I kind of have a thought, but like, should I be doing that after I'm done quilting the whole thing? Like, just finish up the whole quilt and then write them on? Or should I be writing them on, like, basically now, like, before I sandwich the quilt together? Let me know, like, if you guys have used those pens before and written on a quilt, let me know at what stage do you do it? Kind of leaning on like before, like right now, because I can lay it on a flat surface, which I think is probably a good idea. I suppose like if you did a quilt label, you probably write on the quilt label first before sewing it on. Oh, Marie says after. Okay, after for sure. I've never really done that before, I guess. Use that pen to... Oh yeah, I have, but like not on like a big quilt where I'm writing a lot of stuff on. Block. Ooh, I'm feeling the heat now. Working with an iron for a while. It was chilly today. Like I think it was in the 50s today, and rainy, like a cold rain. And my parents actually said that we should bring our plants in. We got some fresh new plants, and we should actually bring them in. We haven't planted them yet, so it's going to be like that cold outside, which is crazy because it was almost 90 degrees 2 days ago. So crazy. Going from 90 degrees to having to bring the plants in at night again. That's so silly. I don't think I'm going to press the purple area here. I'll just glide over quick. Fuzzles all over this that we'll have to trim off. Could do that as we write stuff on it, I suppose. Oh, Marie says that the stitching, you know, when we quilt it, will distort the writing. Now that's a good point. So, yeah, so that'd be a reason to write it all on after. That makes sense. I like that. That's what I would prefer to do. I don't want to deal with writing it all down now. That just feels like it would be a fun thing to do right when the whole thing's done. So that's kind of what I was hoping. But you're right. That's a good reasoning. That when I stitch, it's gonna go all over the place. And if I write on after I do all the quilt stitching, then I can see where the lines go and like not write right on top of them and stuff. I like that thought. This guy has extra, we put batting behind this guy, so he's got an extra little poof added to him. We'll have to accentuate that when we quilt. This one doesn't want to stay. It's a lot of seam is pushing it outward. Oh, those little pointy triangles want to push it the other direction. Oh, it's gonna look so nice pressed. Reading some of your comments here. There we are. Swish. Yeah, these seams are just going to kind of go where they want, but that's okay. We're still getting them kind of flat here. We need to do some more thread painting. That was really fun. I had never done that before, like thread painting on the machine. I would do that again. What machine did I do that with? Because I would have had to go back and forth, right? Oh no, no, you just move the it's like free motion quilting. You move the fabric. You don't just go forward and reverse. It's free motion. Yeah, that was fun. I would do that again. Ooh, it's getting dusty. Yeah, I think we can maybe get all this in this pass. Well, I don't think I'll get to cleaning my machine tonight, but we'll try and do that tomorrow, and then maybe start the back of this guy. It'd be nice to just keep pushing ahead on him. But tonight went to the pressing. Oh yeah, up. Oh, I think I did this one wrong. Yeah, I did try and force it down. I'm going to do that again. I was trying to force this one down, but it needed to go up exactly where it was. Oh, Amy says the thread painting one is her favorite one on the quilt. Yeah, I really like that one a lot too. That was that was an adventure. I hadn't done that before. Sorry, my microphone is the quilt is on top of all my cords here. Hold on. Mountains are pretty too. I like all of them. They're all pretty. This one I like with all these purples together are really fun. All right, last little bit, and then I think we'll call it a night. I will try and take a photo of this tomorrow, assuming it's not pitch black outside like it was all day today. And yeah, then I'll post it over in the Penguin and Fish Crafters group. But I'll show you guys this right now, as far back as I can go in this little space here. So, all right. Okay, so I'm going to just hold this up and step back a bit. Alright, so you probably can't really actually see it much more than you could on the table, but it's there. Alright. Yeah, this will be better once I can take a photo of it tomorrow, but it's nice and flat. It's looking real clean and pretty. I'm so excited about it. So yeah, tomorrow we'll clean up the machine first. Why not do that? We'll spend 20 minutes or so oiling and cleaning the machine here, just checking it over, and then we will work on the back of the quilt, see what fabric we have left over, and start just piecing that together. I want to kind of do the same thing that I'm doing for the granny square quilt, just kind of using up what we have left of this fabric. So that's the plan for tomorrow. Awesome, you guys. Thanks again. Reminder, we are ending that embroidery of the month soon. It's almost June, if you can believe it.
Yeah, check the Penguin and Fish Crafters group tomorrow for this a picture of this quilt. Awesome. So have a great evening, everyone, and I'll see you tomorrow. Good night.